focuses on psychological factors that are primarily internal to and under the control of the learning rather than conditioned habits or psychological factors. The learning centered psychological principles provide as essential framework to be incorporated in new designs for curriculum and instruction assessment systems for evaluating educational goals attainments as well as for systematic redesign of professional development programs and educational system structures. The principals are expected to speak to the teachers, instructions, and other involved in designing or implementing instruction. They contribute to understanding effective strategies. It can address problems of low levels or of academic achievements. These principles emphasize the active and reflective natures of learning and learners. From this perspective, educational practice will be most likely to improve when the educational system is redesigned with the primary focus on the learning. 14 learner-centered principles. First, cognitive and metacognitive factors have 6 principles. Number 1, nature of the learning process. The learning of a complex subject matter is the most effective when it's intentional process of constructing meaning from information and experience. Successful learners are active, goal-directed, self-regulating, and assume personal responsibility for contributing to their own learning. Number 2, goals of the learning process. The successful learner, over time and with support and instructional guidance, can create meaningful, coherent representation of knowledge. Number 3, construction of knowledge. The successful learner can link new information with existing knowledge in meaningful ways. Number 4, strategic thinking. The successful learner can create and use a repertoire of thinking and reasoning strategies to achieve complex learning goals. Number 5, thinking about thinking. Higher order strategies for selecting and monitoring mental operations for facilitate creative and critical thinking. Number 6, context of learning. Learning is influenced by environmental factors, including cultures, technology, and instructional practices. And next, motivational and affective factors have 3 principles. 7. Motivational and emotional influences on learning. What and how much is learned is influenced by the learner's motivations. Motivation to learn, in turn, is influenced by the individual's emotional states, beliefs, interests, and goals, and habits of thinking. Number 8, intrinsic motivation to learn. The learning's creativity, higher order thinking, and national curiosity all contribute to motivation to learn. Intrinsic motivation is stimulated by tasks of optimal novelty and difficulty, relevant to personal interests and providing for personal choice and control. Number 9, effects of motivation on effort. Acquisition of complex knowledge and skills requires intended learner effort and guided practice. Without learning motivation to learn, the willingness to exert this effort is unlikely without certitude. Next, developmental and social factors have 2 principles. Number 10, developmental influence on learning. As individuals develop, there are different opportunities and constraints for learnings. Learning is the most effective when differential development within and across physical, intellectual, emotional, and social domains is taken into account. Number 11, social influences on learning. Learning is influenced by social interaction, interpersonal relations, and communication with others. And next, individual differences factors have three principles. Number 12, individual differences in learning. Learners have different strategies, approaches, and capabilities for learning that are function of prior experience and heredity. 13. Learning and diversity. Learning is most effective when differences in learning linguistic, cultural, and social backgrounds are taken into account. 14. Standards and assessment. Setting appropriate, high, and challenging standards and assessing the learning as well as learning progress, including diagnostic process and outcome assessment, are integral parts of the learning process.